Hi, my name's Will Dean. I'm the author in the forest. Today I'm talking about your debut year. So, your debut year. You've been lucky enough to get a literary agent. Good job. You have a publishing deal. Great job. And your book comes out. What happens in that first 12 months? Let me walk you through it. So first things first, congratulations. I'm serious. You've beaten tough odds. Well done. Pat yourself on the back. You've done amazing. I want to talk you through some do's and don'ts, and these are just my suggestions. I am frequently wrong, so please do ignore them or disagree with them if you like. Let me know in the comments what you think. If you think I'm talking nonsense, let me know. That's fine. I can take it. I want to interact with you. I live in a moose forest in a bog in the middle of nowhere. Interact with me. First of all, your launch party. I'll talk about launch parties in a whole separate video. Your launch event, whether you're going to do it locally, whether you're going to do it in your nearest big city, whether you're going to do it in the capital city, whether you do it in a bookstore, above a bar, or a pub, or a restaurant, friends and family, industry people. I will do a whole other video on that. Let me know in the comments if you want to see that video. The first thing to do is take a moment. By this, I mean at your launch event or on your launch day, whether you're launching on Facebook Live, completely in private with your loved ones and a bottle of wine, whatever you're doing, however you're launching, however much or little publicity and fanfare surrounds your debut novel, take a moment to take it in. You've done it. Imagine how you felt 2 years ago, 5 years ago, when you were a reader and you started watching videos, reading books, reading blog posts on how to get published. You have done it. You've beaten the odds. The odds were not in your favor and you've done it. Congratulations. And I'm serious about that. It's easy to spend that first day being disappointed about your Amazon ranking, about some garbage review by some random person. Stop focusing on all that stuff and just take a moment to congratulate you from 2 years ago. That might sound kind of stupid, but I mean it. You've done it. And you should pat yourself on the back. Well done. Good job. Second thing, and I kind of alluded to this in the first thing, do not compare yourself to other people. I'm watching you. Do not do this. This is the road to misery. Throughout your entire career, do not compare yourself to other writers. You are on your own path. You are going to take your own time. If somebody else made the New York Times bestseller list, be happy for them. You might do it with book 2, you might do it with book 20. You might never do it and it might not matter to you. Don't compare yourself to other people. Maybe Steve or Frankie's book came out the same day as yours, and you've got 2 Amazon reviews and they've both got over 50. You know what? Stop looking. It's not going to make you a better writer. It's not going to make you a happier human being. Stop comparing yourself to other people. So-and-so's got a movie deal. Good for them. Congratulate them. Say well done and mean it. You might get one in future. The best thing to do, if you start to feel that other people are succeeding more than you, is focus on your process. And by that, I mean double down on your reading and your writing. Maybe take a break from social media if that's causing you some kind of anxiety, and just focus on the stories that make you want to read and make you want to write. Go back and read The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe from when you were a kid, or a Roald Dahl. Go back and read Frankenstein. Write a short story in a completely different genre. Just do something that makes you fall in love with writing all over again. Stop comparing yourself to other people's career achievements. There are so many factors at play. Your agent versus their agent. The zeitgeist and what's hot right now. The level of advance. Sizes of marketing budget. It's just like, there's no point in comparing yourself to other people. If you see somebody doing well, congratulate them. And maybe, yeah, maybe you can strive for that, but don't feel bad that you've not got there yet. You're on your own path and you're on your own timeline. All creators, it doesn't matter if it's a YouTuber, if it's an artist, if you're a musician, whatever kind of creative field, you're on your own path. Double down. Does that make sense? Double down? Am I using that word in the right way? I don't know. Focus on your own method and your own process and the thing that makes you get buzzed, the thing that makes you tick about whatever art form you're dealing with. Focus on that, ignore the noise. Next thing, don't read reviews. Like most writers do read their reviews. Maybe they read their Amazon reviews, but not their Goodreads reviews. Maybe they read their newspaper reviews, but not their Amazon reviews. Maybe they don't read any of their reviews and they get their agent to screen them. Maybe they read everything. Like, just do whatever it takes. Do whatever suits you. At the beginning, you'll probably read all of your reviews. That's kind of what everybody does. But if Goodreads is starting to give you anxiety, and let me tell you, Goodreads can do that to you, then stop reading it. Like, what benefit are you getting from this? Why are you torturing yourself? So if you're starting to feel anxious, if you're starting to feel some kind of sense of restriction, how am I going to write that second book? Stop reading your reviews. The reviews are for other readers. They're not for you. Next thing, and kind of related, is moderate your social media use. If you're a big social media person, if you like Twitter, if you enjoy Instagram, if you're on Facebook all the time, over your debut period, over your debut year, it's tempting to be on there all of the time, searching your hashtag, replying to readers immediately, replying to DMs, and the truth is that social media can be a real force for good for a debut writer. It can be a way for you to connect to readers and for you to explain where your next event is going to be so readers can meet you. Social media can be fantastic, a really, really, really useful tool. If it's starting to make you unhappy, get off for a while. Close it down. Limit your use. Keep your phone outside of your bedroom, whatever it takes. You know all these tricks. Just limit your social media use for a while. Okay, next thing, be part of the community. Whatever genre you're in, there will be like a group of people who go to different events, who are supportive of each other in online groups. Look after each other, you know? If you see somebody struggling, buy them a coffee, have a chat. If you're struggling, reach out to somebody you trust. The community is there. I would say I'm a member of the crime thriller community, and I gotta say they are the nicest group of people. We all write about the bad things in life, and these are the nicest, most supportive, generous group you could ever wish to meet. I personally love going to events to meet readers, but a nice side effect of that is that I get to meet all of my buddies, all of my mates who are crime thriller authors. It feels nice to be part of something. Like, especially as I'm a hermit who lives in a bog in the North Pole, it is nice to get together with like-minded people who have the same struggles and the same pleasures and joys, and just have a beer and have a chat and have a laugh. It is fantastic, and it is one of the best things about being a debut. Next thing, don't forget to write the next book. Don't leave it and leave it and leave it because you're focused on building a sparkly new website. Or you've got so many events you think, I'm gonna just have to wait a little bit with the next book. Ideally, you've written the second book before your first book comes out. I wrote Red Snow, my second book, before I even had an agent for Dark Pines, which is maybe a little bit odd, but that's just the way I wanted to write that story, so I wrote it before I got an agent. So write the second book, if you can, at least get the first draft done before your first book comes out, because at that point you're not getting judged, you haven't had your magazine reviews or your Goodreads reviews or whatever. Try to get that second book written before the first book comes out. And it also sets you in a nice path, a kind of a discipline of, if you're going to be a full-time writer, for example, or if you aspire to be a full-time writer in 5 years' time, and you're going to probably need to write a book a year. Some people can write 2 or 3 books a year. Some write a book every 2 or 3 years. Whatever it takes. I write a book a year. That's a natural rhythm for me. That feels good. Okay, do save some of your money. Like, you're going to get an advance, you might get lumps of money. It's not like a salary. You'll get a clump from a foreign rights deal if you're lucky. You'll get a clump from a TV option maybe if you're lucky. But most likely you're just going to get your advance. If you're fortunate enough to get a big advance, save as much of it as you can, because you really don't know when the next deal is coming. And I'm not being negative or pessimistic here, but just it's tempting to think that everything is going to just trend upwards, but most writing careers are kind of like this, right? They're quite difficult to predict, and the clumps of money come at all different times. So if you get a bit of money, obviously save what you need to save in terms of tax, and try, if you can, to save a little bit more. Okay, and this is related, and this is don't get fancy. And that means, okay, you're a published writer, don't start flying business class. If you've got $1 million advance, you know, fly business class if you want to, but if you've got like a standard good advance and you have some other things trickling in, yeah, it's tempting to start flying business class. It might be tempting to upgrade your car. It might be tempting to stay in a fancier hotel with room service. Yum. Do what you've got to do. Like, if you enjoy those things and you can afford to do those things, obviously do them. I'm not going to tell you not to do them. But I think it might be a smart idea, just because of the way author careers can progress. Don't get fancy too early. Does that make sense? Maybe after you've had 10 books out and they're all and you've got some kind of measure of success and you're an established writer and you want to get fancy and start flying business class, whatever, go for it, knock yourself out. But if it's your debut, you really don't know what your career is going to look like in a year's time or in 5 years' time. I would say err on the side of caution. Don't get too fancy too soon. And I got to be honest, most authors, they don't even have the option of ever being fancy, because you don't write books for the money. That's just not the way it works. Wait a second, the raccoon wants to come in. Hey, raccoon. Okay, raccoon's in. You might see him behind me. That is my final point. If it is your debut year, or if you have a debut coming up, I want to wish you all the very best. You have done it. Congratulations. Enjoy it. Feel free to ignore any of the points in this video. That's absolutely fine. Hey, raccoon. If this has been useful, please do like the video. Please write your comments underneath. Tell me about your debut experience, or ask any questions you might have. I will be happy to answer them. So please like, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Thank you.